I'm told 26 miles is like the ultimate challenge. Don't ever do 27, you know, your legs will fall. You got 26, you know, no more. I mean, you guys hear this in training all the time, right? When you train for a marathon, never go beyond, you know.
Never go.
This dude did 4 marathons in the same day in sandals in the mountains. And I'm told at half his age that I can't do this. And it was indignation. I thought, if he can do it, I mean, you see this a lot of times. Anytime some people do something way better than we do, inevitably someone will come up with some phony baloney DNA explanation. Oh, those Kenyans, they got that extra chromosome. They got that special gene. You know, they got that lung thing. I mean, there have been articles written about how the Kenyans are genetically different. Then all of a sudden you got a skinny, blonde Brit who comes out and kicks the crap out of them, you know? And what happens to the DNA argument? It's baloney. They run faster than us because they run better than us, period. So I want to figure out what these guys are up to.
Hey, Chris,
yes.
Did you talk about the shoes?
No. Sure. You know, it's funny, I never anticipated. When I started this book, I kept thinking that every step was the last step. You know, that I'd zip down the canyons, get some good info from these Indians, scoot back, write an article, and be done. Then I heard about this race. I thought, okay, it's interesting, but there's no way I'm going to be able to run it. Every step of the way kept opening up to areas of exploration that I never anticipated. And one of them was this whole weird situation with running shoes, which I had never doubted. To me, that was one of the things that was a known truth. You need to have these shoes on your feet. I've heard it over and over. To this day, you read it. Matter of fact, as of like 2 weeks ago, the executive editor of Runner's World is on NPR, okay? Pretty reputable news source, pretty reputable guy. And they were asking him about barefoot running. And you know something, actually I got a transcript, I don't have it with me right now. And his answer was, well, that's okay for some people. People who are biomechanically efficient can run their bare feet. But if most Americans went out today to run their bare feet, they would get seriously hurt and would not be able to run for a long time. I heard this and go, where the hell are you getting this from?
Well, he's trying to sell shoes.
You just make it, well, he works for Runner's World. He doesn't work for Nike. But the fact of the matter
He
is,
gets some money.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets money.
yeah, I know, but it's like, but who's their loyalty to? To the readers? Or
Well,
the
no,
people?
it's advertising.
To
Because he
advertise.
said, you know, the more he promotes selling shoes, and you've got to have good shoes, the more Nike
They
and
advertise in
Adidas and
Runner's
can advertise in Runner's World.
Okay, but then here's what it comes down to then, is there you have people that you trust and believe.
Yeah,
you walk in
right.
any running shoe in the store in the world. I mean, who are your authorities on running? It's either that magazine, and here's another thing too, Dr. Lewis Maharam, who is the medical consultant to the New York City Marathon, said exactly the same thing in the New York Times. He said, you know, you have to be biomechanically efficient. And you hear this, he said, oh, that's really kind of scary. You know, I'm sure I'm not biomechanically efficient. And actually, I'm not. According to expert medical opinion, I'm the opposite of biomechanically efficient. But biomechanically efficient just means you do it right. It doesn't mean you got a special knee joint. It just means that, you know, if you try to drink a beer and you keep it hitting your ear, you just, you know, move your head. Hey, that's much more efficient that way. What I found is that, you know, the problem with running shoes is they're not really running shoes. They're actually walking shoes. Yeah. Running shoes are very good for teaching you how to walk kind of fast because they put a big old foam pad under your heel, which is a very bony and inflexible place to land. You would never, if you jump off of this thing on the ground, your landing place of choice will be the ball of your foot. It will not be on your heels. Heels what you land on when you walk because you're just shifting your weight from side to side. Heels fine. When you run, running is not fast walking. Running is a series of jumps. And when you jump, the best place to land is the ball of your feet, let your knees absorb the impact. 85% of people who buy running shoes do not run in them. They walk in them. So, what market are you catering to? You're catering to the walking market. So they turn out these shoes they call running shoes that, when you look at them, they are the exact opposite. They are engineered exactly the opposite of the way your foot is engineered. I mean, your foot is designed with a nice big pad of fat under the forefoot and almost no fat at all here. It is designed to articulate and bend right here, and it's got a big arch, which should never be supported. You never support an arch because that weakens the arch. You know, arches get stronger as weight comes down from above. You put something underneath an arch, it separates and weakens. So if you look at a running shoe, it's like, well, where should the padding be? Well, if you put any padding, it should be here. But where is it? It's there. You don't want to support an arch. What do they got? They got arch support. So what I found is, in my own case, I got rid of the shoes, and all these problems I'd had for years were gone, vanished. And the only time I ever got them back was the time I stupidly believed that at this point I am like a 21st century Tarahumara, that my technique is perfect. I can wear whatever I want. I put the shoes back on. Next thing I knew, I had plantar fasciitis again. So I got rid of it, and that's it. So I mean, it's turned into this weird kind of war with the entrenched side saying, no, shoes suck or shoes are great. The fact of the matter is it's not about the shoes, it's about what you do in the shoes. Don't let the shoes dictate how your foot moves. Let your foot move the way it wants, and then you can pick whatever kind of shoe you want to wear. And the barefoot dudes have been saying this for years.
What do you run in those?
These Tevas?
Yeah.
I only run in these recently because I broke a toe. So much for never getting injured. But I usually run totally my bare feet now on asphalt. If I ever go on trails, I like to wear those Vibram 5 fingers, those like rubbery foot gloves. Problem with those things is you get a lot of spread of your toes, and if you're not used to that kind of spread, you know, you can tag a rock, and the rock almost always will win. So I've done it twice in a row. First that little toe, and then this little toe.
You had, after writing the book, you had backlash from like Nike, who you take a
Threats, calls.
No, you know, and like I said, I think it's been kind of disgraceful, the silence that these guys are having. And you know, it's really insulting to you guys. They're basically hoping that, you know, this will pass and you idiots will go back to buying the same old crap you've always bought.
They haven't responded at all.
No, nothing. Matter of fact, people keep asking for comment. There's been a lot of like stories about this kind of thing, and they keep calling up the shoe manufacturers and they say no comments. Or else Nike will say, well, we did invent the Nike Free, which is.
Have you tried wearing the Newton shoes?
You know, I haven't. You like them, right?
No, I don't like them, but they gave them to me.
The price was right.
Yeah, the price was right. And,
I've never tried them, but I never understood the logic of why you need to buy a shoe to make them on your foot. Why not just on your forefoot? It's like them rocker shoes, you know. Why do you rock?
149, 179.
So.
What's the significance of the drink that I'm slowly imbibing?
Okay. It's only semi-hallucinogenic. It's much less, not as strong as straight on acid, but yeah.
Yeah. What is
How many
it?
fingers you see? Okay, this is called ischiate, and when I first went down that first trip down there to try to make contact and learn something, I had my sort of humiliating defeat at the silence of Arnulfo. We went down the river into the schoolhouse, and that's where the school teacher told me about Micah and said, go off into these sort of never-ending canyons and go look for him. But by that point, it had been a few days of eating just beans and a couple power bars, not very much water, and I was really dehydrated and really undernourished. And the school teacher gave me a cup of this stuff to drink, and I remember looking at it like, okay, and sort of looking around for a place to dump it out. Because then I was pretty sure this was like Giardia waiting to have it. But he told me the name of it, and he called it ischiate, and the name rang a bell. There was an explorer in the 1800s, a guy named Carl Lumholtz, who had spent 8 years in the Copper Canyons among the Tarahumara. And he has this really cool, poetic passage about being at the sort of the heights of despair. He had to get to the top of this mountain where his camp was, but even exhausted, and there's no way he's going to be able to climb that mountain. And a Raramuri woman gave him a little gourd of this drink, and drank it down. He goes, I felt new energy in my blood, and I scaled the mountain like a teenager. And he goes, from that point on, you know, ischiate was my friend in need. And you know, the name sort of stuck in my head. I realized like that was like the magic stuff. So basically, it's made out of chia seeds, and you know, chia is the Mayan word for strength, and the state of Chiapas comes from the word chia. It's this tiny little insignificant seed that you can turn into chia pets if you like, or or you can soak it in water, and it will just basically soak up all the water you got. You know, the longer it soaks, the more it'll get, and it's full of like omega-3s and calcium and iron and all
Good
that
stuff.
stuff.
call up your chia.
What's that?
Call up your chia.
That's what bring up your chia. It's weird, kind of the Hindu
Yeah, it's all connected, isn't it?
connected. So this drink is made out of honey and chia seeds and lime juice. And,
Pretty simple.
at the time, I got a tremendous boost out of it, but I might have just been really thirsty, so I'm not sure what it was. But I eat so much, I've got so many calories sloshing around my body, I've got no idea if this actually has the benefit people say, but some people tell me that they just get like a super turbocharge out of it. I'm not sure. What's your feeling?
It works.
Yeah. Yeah, if you live on a much more Spartan.
You outran a horse, people. Okay.
That's a good endorsement.
From the horse's mouth.